The big story. Here is America. Its sound and its fury, its joy and its sorrow, as faithfully reported by the men and women of the great American newspapers. Now the story as it actually happened. Harry Ginsky's story as he lived it. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You are Harry Ginsky of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And here it is, your night off. And what a night. What a night. As you leave the city room, you look out the window, and there's a full July moon tinting the smokestacks with eerie gold, and a warm and sensuous breeze eddying in through the window. And somehow, the next thing you know, you're on the phone. You make a date with a certain blonde nurse at Braddock General Hospital, and a couple of hours later, you're waiting for your date near the hospital switchboard when...
Braddock General Hospital? Who? Yes, sir, he's here. One moment, please. For you, Mr. Ginsky. I think it's your editor, Mr. Wall.
Oh, thanks, Mary. Hello.
Harry, Bill. Now, listen, I've got an assignment for you.
Oh, this is my night off, Bill. I've got a date.
Now, look, I'm short-handed and you're in Braddock. We just got an anonymous phone tip. There's been some shooting across the river in Duquesne. I'll get over there right away and check.
But, Bill,
Call me back the minute you have something.
So you stand up, your beautiful blonde, and start to move. As you drive across the Rankin Bridge, turn left, and climb the winding hillside to Duquesne, you curse your craft, the Post-Gazette, and 3 times over your editor, Bill Walsh. You roll into a dark and dingy section of Duquesne, and suddenly you see a man walking along a deserted street. You can't see his face in the darkness, but you figure you'll ask him if he's heard anything about the shooting.
Hey, mister.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
I only wanted to ask you.
Get out of that car.
What?
Get out of that car and put your hands up.
Okay.
Now step closer, buddy, so I can see you.
I don't know what this is all about. Moriarty. Patrolman Fred Moriarty.
Oh, it's you, Ginsky.
Yeah. Whew. Fine sweat you gave me, too. Here I am, a reporter being held up by Duquesne's only night cop. Yeah, and the guy they call the friendly cop.
Sorry, Ginsky. I didn't know it was you.
What's the matter with you, Moriarty? What are you so trigger-happy about?
Well, there's a hoodlum here in town. He's threatened to get me to go gunning for me.
Hoodlum, huh? Who?
Name's Lester, Steve Lester.
Say, wait a minute. We got a tip that there was some shooting here in Duquesne. You know anything about it, Fred?
No, Ginsky. I haven't heard anything.
Why not jump in the car and we'll have a look around?
No. You go ahead. I've got some business to take care of.
My name's Ginsky, a reporter, Post-Gazette. What's happened here?
Oh, we heard some shots in that house.
Shots?
Yeah, 2 of them. You see, I live next door. Her name is Baker.
Yeah?
But anyway, my little girl Marilyn and I heard 2 shots.
Oh, what happened? Who got shot?
Well, I don't know. Nobody's gone into the house to look.
What?
Well, don't look at me like that, mister. I ain't taking no chances. What this town needs is more policemen. The killer may still be in there.
You mean to say people may be dead in there, dying, needing help, and you're waiting? Who lives here?
A widow named Agatha Norton.
You walk up to the front door, and strangely, Baker follows you. The goose flesh jumps out all over you, and your blood chills like jelly. You're scared. You're plenty scared. Maybe Baker's right. Maybe the killer is still in there. But you go ahead. You rub your sweaty palm on your new suit and open the door. There's no sound. Nothing. You both go ahead.
Ginsky.
What is it, Baker?
I just stepped on something.
Switch on the light.
Good Lord.
Who's this?
The widow, Mrs. Norton. Kudinsky, she...
Yeah. Get that on. Bullet through the head. There were 2 shots. What's that room there?
That's the kitchen.
Let's go. Oh. Another body. Slug through the head. No one, Baker?
Yeah, I don't...
Pull yourself together, Baker. Who is it?
Mrs. Norton's son, John.
See. Sweet mess. Now, Baker, listen. I want you to do something for me. Where's the nearest phone?
Down at the grocery store. It's about a block from here.
All right. Go down there, phone the Post-Gazette. Tell them to send up a photographer. Tell them to call the district attorney's office and send some men out here. They got that?
Yeah, I guess so.
What?
Daddy!
Who's that?
That's my daughter, Marilyn. She...
Daddy! They told me you were in here with the man from the newspaper. I got something to tell you, Daddy.
What is it, honey?
I heard another shot.
Where?
I think it came from Mr. Lester's house.
Steve Lester?
Yeah.
Marilyn, I have a car outside. Will you show me where Mr. Lester lives?
Oh, I'll be glad to.
Kudinsky, look,
Now, don't worry, Baker. I won't take a ride up to the house. You go ahead and make that phone call. Come on, Marilyn.
Isn't this exciting?
You drive down Urban Street, and you figure Moriarty and this Steve Lester went gunning for each other, and one of them got it. But who? Meanwhile, this kid beside you with the curly golden hair and the wide blue eyes chatters about, of all things,
The movies. Oh, I love them. I could go all the time if Daddy and Mother would give me the money.
Where's the house the shot came from, Marilyn?
Oh, it's down that dirt road. The red house, see it?
Yeah. You stay right here. Don't leave this car, you understand?
Oh, yes, sir.
And if I don't come back in a little while, you run and get someone to come over here.
All right, I will. My, isn't this thrilling? Just like the movies, isn't it?
you creep into the house, expecting to find another corpse. And you do. It isn't Patrolman Moriarty, so it must be Steve Lester. You get out of there in a hurry. Drop your movie-mad little friend and look for a nearby phone. You find it in the empty police station in Duquesne City Hall. And just as you're about to call the office...
Who's that? Who's there? Oh, it's you, Moriarty. Been looking all over for you.
Have you?
Yeah, just going to call my office when
Put
you
down
walk...
that phone.
What?
Put down the phone, I said.
All right, Moriarty. But what are you pulling a gun on me for?
Now, put out that desk light. Put out the light, do you hear? You want me to blast your head off, do you? I did it before, you know. I did it 3 times. I'm a killer 3 times over, Ginsky, so what's one more? What difference does it make now, huh?
Oh, wait a minute, Moriarty. You mean you killed Mrs. Norton and her son, too?
Yeah.
But why? Maybe Steve Lester was a hoodlum, but the Nortons weren't criminals.
I had my personal reasons, see? I had it coming to him. The whole rotten bunch had it coming. I want to tell you why, Katinsky. Yeah. You and me are going to sit here in the dark, and I'm going to tell you why. I got to tell it to somebody. I got to get it off my chest. You're a reporter. You like a good story. You're going to get one. Only there happens to be a hitch in this story, Katinsky.
What's that?
You'll never live to print it.
You, Harry Kudinsky of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, started the evening on a date with a blonde. But now, you're sitting in the darkness of the deserted Duquesne police station, opposite a killer. And you're scared. In the dark, his eyes watch you with the fixed, glassy stare of a cat, and glow with a glaze of madness. You listen to Patrolman Moriarty, and the words gush out crazily, tumble one after the other. But the shadowy gun in his hand never wavers.
You know what they call me, Katinsky? You know what they call me here in Duquesne? They call me Moriarty, the friendly cop. Everybody likes me. All right. When I was a rookie, A young cop just starting out. I married my wife, Lola. There was this other man who wanted her. Beautiful girl, Lola, pretty as a picture, and he wanted her. His name is Wayan. Paul Wayan. He owns a bar and grill on my street. You hear me, Kaczynski?
I hear you.
All right. Paul Wayan wanted her, but I married her. Then one day last week when I was off duty, I stopped in at Wayan's bar and grill. Lola.
Fred.
Well, hello, Mor Arti.
What are you doing here, Lola?
Fred,
What are you doing back here with him in this booth, alone?
Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Will you stop staring at me as if I were a common criminal? Can't I come in for a glass of beer if I want to? And if I meet Paul Wayan here and we have a friendly glass of beer, is there anything wrong with that? Well, is there?
Let's go home, Lola.
No. No, I won't.
You will. You hear me, Lola? You will. You go home with me and you'll go now.
Wait a minute, Fred. Take it easy. Sit down and have a drink with us. It's on the house.
You know what you can do with your drink, Wayan. Come on, Lola. Let's go. What would you have done, Kaczynski? What would you have done? Your own wife sitting in a dark booth in a beer joint with another guy. Wouldn't you have been suspicious? Wouldn't you? Well, answer me. Don't sit there and say nothing. Wouldn't you have done what I did?
Sure, Mor Arti, but I would. Any man would.
Yeah, you're right there, Kaczynski, because if you didn't say that, I'd have shot you dead with this gun. Anyway, Lola and I got home, and we had a fight.
Fred, will you stop it? Will you stop asking me questions about Paul?
How long have you been seeing him behind my back, Lola?
I told you I have not been seeing him. I just went in for a beer and I saw Paul and we talked a while over nothing in particular, and that's what happened.
Is it?
That's what happened, and that's all that happened. Don't you understand? Can't you get it through your stupid, suspicious head? What more can I say? What more do you want?
The truth.
Fred, for heaven's sake.
You'd like to get rid of me,
Oh,
wouldn't you, Lola? You'd like to take up with Paul Wayan just because he's got money.
I don't know, Fred. I don't know. I give up. I married you for better or for worse, and I got worse. Fred Moriarty, the friendly cop. Fred Moriarty, the stupid cop.
Oh, Lola. Lola, it's just that I'm so crazy.
Oh, don't talk to me anymore. If you feel that way, if you think I'm too tired, you go ahead and think it. I don't care anymore. I just can't take it anymore. I can't talk about it anymore. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Lola. I loved her, Kaczynski. I was crazy about her. I felt terrible, all broken up. You know what I mean? Well, do you?
Sure, Fred, sure. I know how you must have felt.
Yeah. Funny. Everything's so funny. Inside my head, you know. It goes around and around and around. Anyway, when I left Lola, I had to go out on duty. I put on my uniform and walked out of the house. I met a neighbor of mine, the widow Norton.
Agatha Norton?
Yeah, gossipy Norton, they called her in my neighborhood.
Oh, Mr. Moriarty, I don't know what I ought to tell you. I don't know what I ought to tell you, seeing as you're always so nice and friendly-like. All I can say is it's a shame and a disgrace, a downright shame and disgrace that such a thing has to happen to a nice man like you.
Oh, just a minute, Mrs. Norton. You're going a little too fast for me now. What are you talking about?
That's the way it always is. That's the way it always happens. The husband is the last one to know, and it's my duty as a decent woman to tell you.
Well, tell me what?
Your wife, Lola, and this other man, Paul Wayan, that's what. He's been coming to your home while you're on duty.
You lie. You snake-tongued, chattering fishwife, you lie.
Oh, I do I? Well, we'll see about that. I happen to know it's the truth. Paul Wayan's green car has been out in front of your house while you've been away, and it'll be there tomorrow night. He's been seeing your wife right under your nose, and you called me names just because I set you right. That's what I get for trying to do you a favor.
Lola.
Hello, Mr. Moriarty. My goodness, you look awful scary. What's the matter?
Go home, Marilyn.
I was only saying you look awful scary.
Go home, you hear? Go home, Marilyn.
All right, Mr. Moriarty, but gosh, what are you picking on me for? I didn't do anything.
You, Harry Kadinsky, are sitting here in danger of your life. The killer is sitting in the dark just opposite you. His hands are jittery on the gun, and he's promised to kill you after his story is over. But for the moment, you almost forget your danger as the story he unfolds grips you, hypnotizes you. Now you lean on every word.
I got it right between the eyes, just like that, you see, Kadinsky. I guess I was walking around in a kind of fog. And all of a sudden, I ran into this hoodlum, this Steve Lester, on the corner. He laughed right in my face and said,
Hey, tell me your wife's been two-timing you, flatfoot.
Why, you dirty...
Go ahead, chump. Go ahead, call me names. But it's the truth, sucker, even if you don't know it yet.
It's a lie. You hear me, Lester? It's a rotten lie.
Is it? Not the way I heard it. It's the McCoy. While you're out pounding the beat here, this guy Paul Whalen is at home. Your home, making beautiful music with your ever-loving wife.
Keep your big mouth shut. You hear, Lester? Keep your mouth shut.
Oh, I got it wide open right now, Moriarty. And I'm going to keep it wide open. You stuck a knife in me once and sent me to the pen, and now I'm going to stick a knife in you. Only I'm going to turn this knife around and around. I'm going to spill this to everyone I meet. And when I get through, the whole town is going to know about it. So long, sucker.
I guess I went a little crazy after that, Kadinsky. I walked right off my beat and went into Paul Whalen's place. I wanted to see if he was there and where he'd been last night. I wanted to make sure. I sat down in the corner booth waiting and watching. I didn't see Paul Whalen around. Then I saw a man come in, sit down at the bar, and start to talk to Bert, the bartender.
Hiya, Bert.
Hello, Frank.
What's in tonight?
Paul? He's in the back room.
Waiting for suckers like me again.
Yeah, he got those poker cards shuffled and ready to go. I didn't think you'd come back after the licking you took last night.
Don't remind me. I get a headache every time I think of it. How do you like that? I come in last night just for a beer. The next thing I know, I'm playing poker with Paul. We play all night, and what happened? I lose $50.
You say you played poker all night with Paul Whalen?
Why, yeah, Moriarty, but it was just a friendly little game.
Yeah, Fred?
You sure Paul's in the back room?
Well, sure, I'm sure. What's the matter with you, Fred? What's eating you? If you don't believe me, look in the back room and see for yourself.
Well, hello, Moriarty. Just getting up a friendly little poker game. Draw up a chair, Lieutenant. I'll deal you a hand.
I knew it then, Kadinsky. It was all lies. I knew what a fool I'd been. Paul Whalen hadn't been at my house last night. He wasn't there tonight. Yeah, I'd made a fool of myself. I'd said some rotten things to Lola, and I couldn't wait till I got home. But when I got home, she was gone.
The wife was gone?
Yeah, gone. Left me. Left a note. Said she was sick and tired. She was fed up, through with me. And then I thought, they did it. They ruined my life, stole Lola from me. And then things in my head started to spin round and round. All I wanted to do was kill. So I went to the widow Norton's house first. She was in the living room knitting. And I walked right in on her. Hello, Mrs. Norton.
Moriarty.
You know what you've done, Mrs. Norton, with your lying tongue? You've ruined my life. Lola's left me. She's left me because of you and your gossiping and your filthy lies.
Moriarty, you got a gun.
That's right. I'm going to stop that tongue of yours from wagging anymore, Mrs. Norton. I'm going to stop it for a long time. You'll never lie and slander and gossip again.
Moriarty, no!
After that, I ran through the kitchen. You see, Kadinsky, I ran through the kitchen. I wanted to get to Steve's house. But just then, Mrs. Norton's son, John, came through the kitchen door.
Moriarty, what are you doing with that gun? Moriarty, no!
I didn't really want to kill a boy, but he was a witness. What could I do? After that, Kadinsky, I started out to get Steve Lester. That's when I met you. You didn't know then, did you? No, of course you didn't know. I would have told you my story then. Yeah, I would. But my work wasn't done yet. No, not yet. There was still Steve Lester. I walked into his house. He looked at me, scared like a rabbit, his mouth hanging open. Fred, you're going where I just sent Mrs. Norton, Steve. Fred, no! That's all, Kadinsky. I came back here to the police station. I don't know why. I guess I didn't know what else to do, where to go.
Now, listen, Mor
You'd have
Arti.
done it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Kadinsky? You'd have killed them all, wouldn't you? The way they gossiped about me, the things they said. They stole Lola from me. They're the reason my wife left me. Me, the friendly cop, Fred Moriarty, me. What's that?
Police cars, Moriarty.
Police?
Yes.
Murder. The chair. They'll take me there. I seen the chair. I seen it with my own eyes, Kadinsky. It's terrible, terrible. Kadinsky, don't let him. Here's my gun. I give up to you, Kadinsky. You know my story. Write it in the paper. Tell him how I've been wronged and cheated. Tell him how I was always a friendly cop. You know, I never harmed anyone in my life. Took little children across the street and smiled at everybody. Tell him, Kadinsky, tell him.
They come in, the police from McKeesport, and the DA's men. You tell your story quickly, and they handcuff Fred Moriarty, walk him out. And there, waiting on the sidewalk in front, is little Marilyn Baker.
Hello, Mr. Moriarty. Gosh, I heard them talking all about what you did. Hey, they've got you in handcuffs and everything.
You'd better run along home, Marilyn.
All right, Mr. Ginsky, I will. But, honest, Mr. Moriarty, I didn't mean to get you into trouble or anything. I just made up that story I told to Mrs. Norton.
What story?
Why, about Mr. Wayan coming to your house when you were away and all.
You made it all up? And told it to Mrs. Norton?
Oh, gosh, yes, but it was just a little fib. I didn't mean any harm by it. Honest, I didn't.
Marilyn, why did you do it? Why did you tell Mrs. Norton that lie? Why?
Well, my goodness, I didn't mean anything, Mr. Moriarty. I just wanted 50 cents to see that new scary picture at the Strand, so I told Mrs. Norton I'd tell her a secret if she gave me 50 cents to go to the movies, and she did. I guess maybe I shouldn't have told that fib, but I did want to go to the movies, so... You see, I just love scary pictures.
Now we read you that telegram from Harry Ginsky of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Completely broken, killer in tonight's big story was unable to repeat his confession to police, so I filled in the details for him. After many tests to determine his sanity, he was found guilty and sentenced to the electric chair at the state penitentiary at Bellefonte. Following my big story to the end, I was appointed deputy sheriff and rode handcuffed to the killer on his trip to the death house.